Oye, it's the old goats. Tonight I got Hoffa here with me, and we got a special guest. He is not really an old goat, not really a young buck. He's kind of like an old goat or like a...
I'm in between. I'm in the in-between.
Yeah, we're not sure where he falls in. He's an artist, musician. You can check out his IG for shirts, logos. He did our logos, our caricatures, our shirts that we're wearing. Gio Gonzalez, Big G in the house. Thanks for coming, bro. And this is kind of like our first interview we're doing. We never really sat down and interviewed somebody. So we're just going to get into it, just go deep with Gio here. And I want to start with your service, man. I know you served for like 5 years, right? You
5 years in the U.S. Navy.
In the Navy, okay. And I always like to honor our servicemen and women. And you were one, from 99 to 2004, you told me, right?
Exactly.
So how'd you get into that, man? Because I know some of your cousins and your brother and a lot of people in your family, like a high percentage, right?
Yeah. Especially the later like males, like around like 92, it was like 6 of us always rolling together, like with my uncles. Half of us stayed in like Lakes by the Bay, Cutler Bay area, and then what happened was I was the youngest out of everybody, so I was like 5 years younger than most of the crowd. So they were teenagers getting into shit, so I was starting to do it prior. I was doing it earlier. So my mom's like, "Yo, you gotta think of something." So they all started going in.
This a little bit.
Yeah,
right
for sure.
Yeah.
So they started going into the military, and they like recommended it. So I went in at 17. My parents had to sign me in.
So who was like the pioneer, like the one that like?
I think my cousin Manny Gonzalez. Shout out to Manny Real Estate.
Okay, yeah, shout out Manny.
The first one, he joined the Navy, and then after that was his brother joined the Air Force, and then my brother Chris went. And see, they were in their 20s. So they graduated high school, enjoyed summer, enjoyed life, and then like decided to go. Me, I was like still in high school. My mom's like, "You got to go." So I went in at 17, like right after high school. 2 months right after high school, I went right into the military.
And were you stationed with any of them, or never saw any of them?
Not stationed with, but what happened was my brother was 2 years ahead of me, so he was stationed in Virginia. After my first 3 years in the West Coast of the military service, I put in paperwork to get relocated next to my brother. I made up like some shit like, oh, my whole family's in the East Coast. I'm by myself. So they relocated me to Virginia, and then we lived together, but we weren't stationed together.
Because that kind of works like a job at that point. You go, you do your job, and then you go home.
Exactly. Like if you have shore duty, what they call shore duty is when you're not on deployment. So you're not stationed on the ship. So in San Diego, I was stationed in a clinic. So it's like a job. You go 9 to 5, you work. When you get off, you go to your barracks. And if there's no like other like ceremonies, jobs, or anything, you're done. When you're in the ship, when I was in Virginia, you're stationed on the ship. Same thing. If the ship is docked, it's a building. You go in, you work, you get out, you go home if you have a house. If not, you stay on board. But when the ship takes off, you leave with the ship. That's when. So we do drills 3 weeks, 1 month, and then you do like the big deployments when they send you overseas and stuff like that.
So. If that ship leaves, you're living on that ship now.
Everybody goes with it. Everybody. But usually only leave for like training drills, and we go out to the coast like a couple like 20 miles out, and we do drills and stuff. Or we might go down south to like Jacksonville, stuff like that. But normally you only get like one big deployment every like 2 years. They'll send you out to like, if there was like some war stuff going on, they'll send you out for like 6-7 months to the Gulf.
And so like half and half. Half the time you're doing that go home thing. Half the time you might be deployed.
Exactly. You're always doing drills. Like you're always drilling at it. When you're doing it at the moment, you're like, why the fuck are we doing these stupid drills every day? Like, hey,
it's like a fire drill.
Exactly, fire drill. This guy's arm got blown off. What do you do? All this shit, and we're supposed to be ready like by like 7 minutes, and we're always failing. 12 minutes. The captain, come on, guys, we're all dead. Blah blah blah. When we were out in deployment, the alarm went off, and when they said this is not a drill, that we were ready in 5 minutes. When that adrenaline kicks and you hear this is not a drill, shit.
Do they ever fake you out and say this is not a drill and then it was a drill?
No, I don't think so. That'd be fucked up. I think that'd be some trouble. Yeah, it's serious though, man. It's crazy.
How about on the deployments?
I got deployed in 2003 to Operation Iraqi Freedom. So that was like I was in San Diego when the towers dropped, and
holy shit.
Then it was crazy because I worked at a Marine base. So I worked at a dental clinic, because I wasn't like a soldier or whatever on the front lines. But fence to fence with the base that we were stationed at was the San Diego airport. So it was fucking very nerve-wracking because we find out planes are hitting buildings and we're like, what the fuck? There's snipers on the roof. The base is on shutdown. You don't know. It looked like I walked in. It was early in the morning. It was like 6 over there in the West Coast. Cause I think it happened around 9ish.
So you're working while this shit's going down.
I'm walking to work. I walk into the lobby of the clinic, and they're all standing in the waiting room looking at the TV.
Which is this is on a military base.
On a military base.
Fuck.
So I walk in. I'm like, what movie is this? What y'all watching? And I'm like, I see the tower burning. That shit's burning in every movie. So I'm like, what is this? And they're like, oh, somebody accidentally ran into the tower. I'm like, what fucking idiot did that? And then you see the second one hit. We're like, holy shit. And then the alarms and shit starts going down. The base goes on shutdown. Like,
wow, that's crazy.
It was a boot camp. It's where the Marines go for boot camp in the West Coast. So it's like that's why we're there. The dental does the teeth on all the new recruits. We check X-rays and all that shit. So we're just like a regular clinic there. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it was nerve wracking, man. It was crazy. So then I got transferred over to the West Coast. I got on a ship, and now they're setting the war. We're going out there, and then all of a sudden that's why I was kind of confused because it was Taliban, Al Qaeda, all this shit. And then when I went to the ship, they sent me to the Persian Gulf, to Iraq, and we went and killed Saddam. I was kind of like, what? What happened?
Pulled a fast one out.
What the fuck? But
weapons of mass destruction.
Exactly. So it was.
How many times did we hear that during that time? That phrase, weapons of mass destruction.
It's so crazy.
1,000
Even
times.
me being in it, you follow code, so you're not gonna question, but. I think now reflecting back, kind of like relationships, anything else. Now looking back, like, yo, why the fuck did we end up going to Iraq? Like, I thought it was like Al Qaeda, all this shit, and it was crazy, man. Yeah. But I never talked bad about the military. They changed my life. They helped me out. At the moment when you're in it, I didn't enjoy. I was like, at times, like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, you know what I mean? But when I got out and I looked back, I was like, damn.
I wanted to ask you. That's one of the things I wanted to ask you. Like, besides you getting trained as a dental hygienist, and like obviously that's like your profession now.
Right.
Besides that, like, what would you say like your biggest takeaway that the Navy gave you, like for your everyday life, like something they implemented in you that's really helped you?
I believe work ethics. Yeah. I wasn't like. I was a piece of shit, I guess, back trying to like do the minimum.
I mean, you're 17.
A kid,
you're
bro.
17 years old,
right? But look, you go in at 17. Look, and imagine I knew how to iron and cook and all that shit, but I didn't really have to. My mom, Spanish moms, take care of you and shit like that.
Exactly.
Shout out to mommy.
Yeah, shout out to Spanish mommies. But when you're in there, you got to learn how to iron stripes on your uniform. You know what I'm saying? Cook
Start
for
shit
yourself,
up,
live on your own, and just different shit. So it helped me be independent, but also at the same time, since I wasn't used to having money and all that, it was harder for me because I never had money, and then I get paid every 2 weeks, had credit cards and shit like that. I kind of fucked up, but it was fun, I got a lot from it. And then you broaden your horizons when you travel and when you meet other cultures. You're stationed with some white guy from Oregon, a Mexican from Arizona, some Filipino guy, and an African from Zimbabwe, and that's your clique. And you go out and it's a different like hangout. And you just appreciate different shit, and you started to see like, damn, there's more. And then you come back home, you talk to friends that haven't left the block, and they're like, they think they know all this shit. I'm like, you don't know nothing. I'm like, oh, my bad.
That's cool. I'll say one thing because we worked together for a little while. You're like an organized dude, so I'm sure. I don't know. Were you organized before you went into the military, or is that something that you got from there?
I'm like selective OCD. My mom's very like, yeah, because there's times I want to like everything clean, but there's times also I could be messy. But I am very like. It has to be facing this way and shit like that. But that comes from my mom. That bitch don't stop cleaning. She cleans all day and like loves clean. So I think she's always like put that onto us. So then the military just boosted it, and they made it worse. But it was something I think a habit I've always had. I've always liked being clean because it was always you don't want somebody to come over and shit. The last night you left it all messy and like fuck, that's the worst thing. So she kind of put that on us.
Yeah, I'm a messy mess, dude. But I know where shit is. Like, don't touch that shit.
But I'm not like a cleany guy. I'm more like make it look presentable. It can be still dirty, but just put the towel over the pile of clothes. And
slam everything into the closet.
To one corner and make it look good. That's not so much dusting and all that shit.
You said your clique, like from different countries and stuff, like a melting pot. Let me ask you, because I know a lot of people that were in the military and stuff that I work with and other friends of mine. Like, when you were like, on your deployment or maybe like one of those drills or something, like when you had like leave time from the base, like they give you like the little time off and stuff. Can you give me like, I don't know, you don't have to get into detail, but give me like a crazy story or something.
Puerto Rico. I'm like 1920. We get to Puerto Rico early as hell. So it's like 8 o'clock and they let us go. Like, hey, you don't have to come back till tomorrow morning. We're like, holy shit. Never been to Puerto Rico. Like, and then obviously, like, let's say we're at the clique, but you have to work the first day we get there. You're off tomorrow and I work tomorrow because you have to somebody has to stay on board. Ever since Pearl Harbor,
not everybody could abandon the ship.
Well, that's what happened with Pearl Harbor.
We learned that lesson.
Nobody was awake, and they snuck up on us. So now there's always somebody on watch.
Right.
So let's say you had to stay. So I'm chilling with another group. So me and these boys, we got together. We like a random clique that's not our like main group.
Right.
We start taking off. We rent a van. We going down the street. We start buying Heinekens. We have like Heineken bottles in the car, like little tiny ones. And then we got out of the gas station. This is right off the jump. We're on the wrong side of the road. We're going against traffic. So we're doing some crazy shit. Like, look, I started drinking at 9. By the time I got back, 9 a.m. because we were letting it go at 8.
I thought it was 9 years old.
No, 9 a.m. So I'm fucked up. I buy souvenirs. I go to
by
the
noon, you were ripped.
Bacardi factory. I bought my parents' stuff. By the time I made it to the ship, I had no shoes, no souvenirs. I could have got in trouble because I came on stumbling, grabbing like the lady on the corner.
The Hangover,
great
the movie The Hangover on the Navy base. Huh?
Yeah, exactly. And it happened in Spain too. In deployment, we were on. When I left Virginia to cross the pond all the way to the Atlantic, it took like 2 months. It was like 127 days, and we didn't touch ground.
Holy shit!
So I was on a boat the whole time.
Is this on the? You told me you were on the USS Ashland.
Yeah,
were you always on that ship?
No, my first year, like, it's boot camp and then school. They send you to Texas. I learned dental technician school, like learning the basics. Then they send you to your job out in the field, and that was San Diego. I worked at a clinic on the base. So I was like a dental technician at a clinic.
Okay.
Then after I served my 2 years there, I put in the transfer. I went to the East Coast. I went to Virginia, but I was stationed on a ship. That's when you do all the deployments and all that shit.
Nice.
So then that's when the Operation Iraqi
And that's the
started.
Ashland.
That's the USS.
Tell me about that ship a little bit. Like, it's helicopters can land on that shit?
It's like the third down. Like, so you have the aircraft carrier that has planes and all that shit.
Hell
Ours
yeah.
is the landing helo deck, which basically... the inside's kind of hollow, and it's made to kind of sink the lower butt end, and like those hovercrafts kind of park inside. So
some G.I. Joe shit.
Yeah, we're usually manned, like half manned. Like the ship doesn't have
havoc.
Right. So they hold about 1,000 troops, but we're only filled up to like 500 with Navy people. So before we leave to across the pond, we leave Virginia, stop in North Carolina, pick up 500 Marines, all their toys. And we stack them up, and then we ride together.
So they're like hitching a ride with you guys.
They always ride with us. We're like the Uber.
Hoorah.
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? But look, this is how it's dope, the band of brothers, because when you're together on deployment, they have no job. They just work out and get ready, and we're pissed because they're eating all the food, they're taking the gym time, all this shit. But when we get there, they're the ones that get off. You know, and we sit back and we're chilling. So it's like you don't realize that. And then you like, we're battling, we're playing spades against each other, we're rap battling, we're like hate them, they hate us. But when the shit goes down, we're like a band of brothers, man. We're on the same team.
That's cool.
That's cool.
It is cool. Because we hate each other on any other time. Like, they hate the squids, we hate the jarheads, and Air Force are pussy. You know, everyone talks shit about each other. But when it's time, it all comes together. Kind of like 9/11, look what the country did.
Right.
When the shit went down, everybody will fuck up any terrorist. Like, everyone was on one team. And it takes tragedy sometimes to get that shit to happen. That's what sucks.
Yeah, that was amazing, dude. How, like, everybody, not just military, but like the whole whole nation, dude. Yeah, like, I don't remember there being, I mean, obviously there probably was, but I don't remember there being at that time like a lot of racial stuff.
Everybody was scared.
Or you know, like a lot
there was
of
racial stuff. It just the guys with the towels on their heads.
Yeah, it was geared towards
everybody was turned against them. Yeah,
you're right about that. They definitely.
There was so much fear.
Because I remember, like, even like people are like Pakistani or that look similar to to Arabian, to Iraqi guys or whatever, and they had nothing to do with the 9/11 stuff, and they were getting fucking beat down in the streets, and
like Asian people right now with the coronavirus stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Well, look, just out in deployment. Look, we're out in the Gulf and the Persian Gulf. There's a whole bunch of like wooden ships and fishermen ships out there. We can't tell them to leave, so we're out there on watch. Like, you don't know who the fuck is who, so you're just standing out there like kind of on nervous wreck the whole time. So
there's pirates out there, right?
We almost got hit by one. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say this shit, but somebody like hijacked like this like pirate. Like,
share.
Edit it out.
Nah, I mean,
we always say that and never do it.
For what I remember, I was walking in the ship and like the boat shifted and I almost hit the wall and I'm like, what the fuck? And the alarms went off. And
I haven't been drinking today.
Yeah, exactly. Come to find out, I guess somebody hijacked one of those like oiler ships out there and they tried to ram us.
Oh shit!
And they missed us only by like 20 yards. Now, like 20 yards in people is like far as fuck, but in two giant metal ships, that's pretty
20 yards
close.
is like fucking right next to each other.
So I don't know the results of what happened afterwards, but I know that's what happened.
That's a pretty fucking cool story, man.
The whole 6 months we're riding with like gas masks on our hips. There's always alarms going off, like scares and class. So you don't know, but you just got to strap on the mask. Your heart's beating. You're setting up, and it's just crazy shit that happens every day out there that you're like not used to. You know what I'm saying? And it's beautiful though. Look, because besides that, the silver lining, every morning you see beautiful sunrises, like beautiful sunsets.
You saw both, right?
All of them. Everything, beautiful, everything. But after like 20 of those motherfuckers, I just want to go home and sit on my couch and fucking.
I got all the pictures.
You wanted to hear some fire alarms.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. But look, my alarm now is that same alarm we used to hear in the ship. That bang, bang, bang. I can't.
Not to get off topic. No, not to get off topic. But I wanted to ask you. You're a very talented artist.
Thanks.
You've made our shirts. Like the goat said, you made the logos for our website and everything. The drawing, how'd you get into the drawing? Like, it was something that you just started doing in school when you were bored, or
when I was younger, I've always liked comics, and all like the boys I was mentioning that grew up together. Like, we all used to collect comics and steal comics at conventions and shit like that. And then we used to collect. We all had our own favorites. And actually, my brother Chris and my cousin Manny, they used to draw, and I was like whack. So I used to doodle, but I never like cared about it. And then making shirts, I've always liked art. But making shirts, one day I had a little book where I write down my receipts, and I was just looked at one of my comics and I drew it, and it came out pretty fresh. I was like, damn, that's pretty dope. Like, I started drawing, but then I was using little line paper. I was like, let me go buy a sketchbook. Then I took like 6 months, I filled that shit up. And then people was like, yo, I want that, how much? And just shit like that. I was like, oh shit. Then I started looking into like shirts, stickers, and it just took off. I didn't know I was that
GNP Arrow,
yeah,
sorry.
GNP
GNP Arrow. Check them out on IG.
Yeah, man. And a lot of people ask me about the name. My name, I'm Ecuadorian, but my dad named me Giovanni Giampiero Gonzalez. So no one can ever pronounce
my
mouthful,
name. Bro.
A mouthful.
So you're like Triple G.
Triple G, before Triple G.
Yeah.
And the whole meaning behind the name is that no one can pronounce it. So if you say it really fast, Giampiero, it's my middle name pronunciation. Giampiero.
Oh.
Giampiero.
It's like French.
Yeah.
Nice.
Or Italian. Or one of those. But yeah, man, it was a weird thing that came up. I've always loved it, but it just came up.
So you never really had like any.
No.
You never went to like art school
For none
or
of the
any
shit
training
I do, I went to
or
no
nothing?
school, no training. It all happened
Wow.
by accident.
It's pretty impressive, man.
My brother Cam from Experimento, he moved with me to Vegas when I was doing music. All I did was I was good at writing and rapping, but I never like recorded, I never produced, I never knew this shit, I never knew Photoshop. And when his band went on tour, he left, and I was kind of like left stuck, and I was like, I don't know how to do anything. So that's when I started learning on my own, and everything was self-taught. And just I've always liked funny shit, so he used to design the ideas that I had. And I just kept cutting the middleman out and learning the parts that I need to learn.
We'll put up like some of your prints down there and stuff.
Sure.
I got a few hanging around my spot here.
Sure.
There's one over here.
And my main ideas, even though like the Deadpool here, like they usually come up from drinking or smoking or whatever, just stupid funny ideas, and you say something like, oh shit, write that down. I started just putting them together, and it's so easy. I started first manipulating art. Then when I got into it, I started meeting artists. I'm like, I can't be plagiarizing, kind of like, you know what I'm saying, like taking someone's stuff and changing. Right. So I started learning how to draw better, making my own original stuff. And that's what I've been doing now, just practicing. The iPad helped out a lot. That makes me feel like a better artist than what I really am.
That tools can be super helpful.
You do a good job, man.
Thanks, man. It's cool. It's fun. I finally found an avenue that you can make money from. Before this was just a hobby and doodling. Now there's avenues and all this shit. So it's like, all right, something that I used to not think you can make money off of, like comics and all that shit. Shit, like a Man of Actions. Yeah. It's like his hobby that became a profession and became a business, and it's like a common thing now.
Yeah, for sure. Let me take it back to the military real quick here, and then we'll just get off that subject. Sure. But I had a couple more. You rambled off a few there at Spain, Puerto Rico. Where else did you go, dude? Like, what others?
The only unfortunate thing when I went, it was wartime. So, like, normally you do when there's not war. Like my brother, he got deployed. He stops at like, Jerusalem, Turkey, Spain. But during our time, it was like high alert. Mm-hmm. So we only stopped to like fuel up and to like ammo. So we stopped only in Bahrain, Spain, and that's pretty much it. Because even when we were there was restrictions. Like,
you were pretty much in at like the fucking
the
worst time or like the most action.
Well, now we know it wasn't that bad, but at the time, like, what the fuck's gonna happen?
You didn't know what was gonna happen.
Yeah, what the fuck? So it was like, why shit? What am I doing out here? It didn't hit me till I was like, because look, when you're crossing, the ships travel like in a V, like ducks. You know what I'm saying? So the big boys in the middle, and all the other ones are like a V. But once you're gonna cross you cross the Atlantic, and then you go through the rocks of Gibraltar to the Mediterranean, and then you got to cut through the Suez Canal to go into the Persian Gulf around You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
But when you get to the Suez, it's so narrow that everyone has to get in a single file line. One of the like locals has to jump onto the front one and kind of like steer so you don't run ground. But that whole process is like a day, like a whole little fucking day routine.
Wow.
But the water has to get shut down. There's restrictions, and then on one side, I think you got what, Saudi Arabia, and then Africa, Egypt, and they kind of hate each other. So they're aiming this way. These niggas aiming this way. We're aiming that way, and it's like a very stressful fucking thing. And that's when it hit me. Like, I have been fine. I've gone out like 3 weeks, a month, but this was like already like 2 months, and I was out there smoking a cigarette, and it's when it like, what the fuck am I doing out here? Like, oh my god, I started crying and shit. Like, started hitting me.
Started getting cabin
Yeah,
fever.
it was like,
huh?
this is real. This is real now. Like, holy fuck, and. That was
you're like what, like 19 years old? Or,
19 to 20.
Shit,
I wasn't
man.
21
That's
yet.
fucking young, man.
It was
That's
scary.
a lot to take in when you're
Yeah,
20
man.
years old, bro.
And then you see other people like
Most
people
19, 20-year-olds are just jerking off at home. Fucking.
I mean, I was still jerking off. It's crazy. It's a different experience, man. And look, even me in it, I'll see people tattoo USN, Marine Corps, and I was like, I'll never do that shit, and I never did. Like 10 years after I got out, we met up at a bar. Me and a couple of shipmates that went on deployment. We were talking, we were chopping up. Dog, like a week later, I tattooed the U.S. Ashland. I have it right here tattooed on my forearm.
Oh shit, dude! I
Oh,
never even
badass,
noticed,
the
dude.
whole boat, like the whole ship. You know what I mean?
Nice.
So like, it's different because we.
That's
sat
part of
and
your
talked.
life.
Yeah, man, it's a big part of my life. And there's times I met some good like longtime friends forever now, like because of the experience we experienced.
And like you said, it expanded your horizons,
yeah,
man. You know?
you meet people and you're like, what the fuck is crazy? And then stories, you think you have shit rough until you meet other people. Like, damn, your story's crazy.
Some guy that lives in fucking middle of Iowa.
Yeah, exactly. Or just other people that from other countries, like Filipinos that they join the military to get their citizenship, or Africans. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy as shit.
There's good opportunities.
Yeah, man.
You kind of answered it. I was gonna ask you what's the coolest and worst part. You know, you told me about like some of the people you met, and then
Right.
you told me about that time when you were there. Like, what the fuck am I doing? Is that kind of
Yeah,
like
kind of like the silver
best and
lining.
worst?
Like being out there was horrible, but then the benefit was like, man, I seen shit no one will see. Like at nighttime when the ship's riding in the ocean, the algae is reacting to the waves. So it looks like lightning underwater, kind of like
Holy
Life
shit.
of Pi. You know that fucking weird purplish. This shit kind of looks like, not so intense, but you see that. You see serpent snakes. They actually, our ship stopped in the middle of the Atlantic, and it's called a Steel Beach Picnic. They lower the butt end of the ship, and they kind of put a perimeter, and it's like the water goes halfway in, so you can walk in, and we swim out there. Like, we're allowed to swim.
holy shit?
I went out there for like 10 minutes, but I was in the middle of like 50 motherfuckers. It's still scary as shit. I don't give a fuck how many
crazy.
guns you got up here. They're coming from the bottom.
I don't think I would
That's
do
fucking
it.
crazy.
I didn't think so too, but I was like, I have to do it.
Fuck
out
it.
here.
I'm never gonna do this again.
Exactly. When the fuck
Yeah.
else am I gonna do this? Like, I did it, but I didn't stay there too long. But
Right.
that
So,
was
yeah,
dope.
I did it. All right, I'm out.
And look, when you're 75 days without touching land, they
So
do-
you must be a great swimmer, huh?
yeah, I'm fat, so I float anyways, bro. But look, after like 75 days or some shit like that, they do what's called a beer day. They like bring out like little kiddie pools, barbecue, the basketball hoop. Everyone gets 2 beers, and they try to make you feel human and shit, and make you feel
Like on the deck and shit.
yeah, like it's a day off. Like, hey, we're not doing shit. Just the people that are on watch, stay on watch. But everyone else, you can wear regular clothes. We'll play DJ. We'll put the basketball hoop. So they give you those little things, and it's different shit. And like our captain was cool. Like I had the luxury of not having such a big ship that I know everybody from top to bottom. Plus I'm medical, so I make appointments and shit. But my brother was on a giant ship. He meets somebody the first day, never seen him again for like 3 years.
How many people were on Chris's ship?
Shit, like probably 2,000 to 3,000 people.
Holy shit. So
They have
like
2 cafeterias, one on one side, because you don't even go all the way over there. Mine, I know top to
6
bottom.
times the amount of people you
Yeah,
had.
I know.
How's the food, man?
It wasn't good. And you know what it is, too? It might be placebo. So when you're traveling, we have American food, we're eating. But once we're like 3 months out, and we're already like in the Mediterranean, getting to the Persian Gulf, they start importing food from locals, and then the soda cans and the food's all labeled with Arabic writing. It just, in your head, it already tastes different. Like the lettuce is different, the milk is different.
But not in a good way? Different and not a good way?
It was good enough, but it's like there's something there.
Yeah,
you
something
know?
different.
There's a little different taste. Like this ain't
I got
Nesquik.
you.
This is some Choco Loco shit. This ain't Nesquik. You know,
This is the knockoff.
Exactly.
Yeah,
like,
we did. I did a Mediterranean cruise for my honeymoon,
right.
and we went to a McDonald's in Italy, and shit was
Yeah,
it didn't
it's
taste the
different.
same.
Exactly. But
Even
to them,
the
it's probably
soda-
like the shit.
The soda tasted different. The fountain soda,
Exactly.
the burger tasted weird.
And it could be just because we're seeing the writing and it's already fucking with our
I mean,
head.
it might be fresher and healthier over there, but we're just used to the shit over here.
Dude, I'll tell you, when I've been to Argentina, and my wife's Argentina, I've been a shitload of times. Their McDonald's is way better than our McDonald's because they have like real meat. You could get
like a churrasco.
You could get a beer at McDonald's. You can get a beer.
I did that.
Italy too. Italy too.
Yeah.
You get a beer,
but it tastes better, dude. I don't know why, because like a job at McDonald's in that country is not like a job at a McDonald's here. It's more like at the level of what a job at a pretty decent restaurant would be here to work at McDonald's. You know, they have like nice little outfits. You know, it's not that cheap either for them. You know,
Plus, they probably don't have as many chains as we do. So you know, we have so many like.
Here there's like a McDonald's in every fucking corner.
Right.
That's like a good job in Argentina for somebody going to school. I'm not even joking.
Sure.
It's like
wow.
Yeah. Last thing I wanted to ask on the military.
Yeah.
If there's somebody out there thinking about going, what advice would you give them?
Even with all the crazy shit going on now, like the military is very like good for people, I think. You know, and then try it out. I mean, it's such a short term. People think 5 years is so long. Like if you're like 18, 19 and you're not sure where you're getting money from, like you'll be done at 20. Like me, I was finished at 22 years old. I was done. Veteran with, you know what I'm saying, benefits. And I learned so much and I got a career. And always be smart. They always tell you, if you don't know what you're going to pick, don't go in blind. Always pick a job because that's bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Always make sure you can pick something. I always tell people this, like, don't pick tank repairman. And when you get out, what fucking tanks you can repair in fucking
I'm opening
Miami.
a tank repair shop, bro.
Yeah,
Nobody's coming, man.
And if you're like a gun specialist in the military, you're only going to be security or a police officer. And you get out, like, do something like IT, medical, dental, fucking.
Yeah, something practical.
Right. So just be smart. But I always talk, like, I think you should try it out. It's not for everybody, but it could be. You know, it could be for somebody.
I mean, if you're like a person that you're not lined up to go to school, you don't want to keep on with, you know, going to college.
Right.
And you're going to be working some, you know.
It's like the ghetto college. I feel like everyone who didn't go to college went there, and then there's a lot of smart people. They were just like not, you know.
It's a great stepping stone, man.
Exactly.
It's a great stepping stone.
Now, Now, if you would have asked me while I was in it, I would have probably gave you a different answer. But going out, reflecting out, it's a good thing, man. It's scary because it's a percentage of the shit that's going on. You could be in that, you know, get sent out. But
right. Well, besides that, like you said, like the whole, you know, your mom always did everything for you and stuff. So you're like basically on your own.
And you feel proud.
You got to fend for yourself, you know?
There's moments that you're going to be proud. Like when you first get out of boot camp, you're like fucking super proud military soldier, hoorah. Everything's like, you know, you're like
right.
proud to do
you're
what
gun-ho.
you did. Yeah, man. It's a good accomplishment, man. They put you through the ringer, you know? So it's cool. And it makes you, you know, your family proud. And it's beneficial, very beneficial. I wouldn't knock it.
Yeah, it could really help.
Yeah.
You know.
But you know what I'm saying? To try it out. It could be for you, it could be not. But
exactly.
It's not a bad thing, man. I don't ever down talk military.
All right.
Whoever's in charge.
You know, you had your dabbles in music. When you did that, what was sort of like your favorite part about doing that? Was being in the studio something you like more, or doing something live?
In high school, I never even thought about rapping at all. But I love music. You can ask my cousin. I was the guy with that 4-page booklet, the thick one, with every cover, every CD, every page had Nas, Jay-Z, and I knew everything.
Alphabetized.
I would perform the songs to you like I was my shit. Like I would know every song, every fucking feature, the producer, and all that shit. So I was a music connoisseur. And in the Navy, I was 18 in San Diego. I met up with a friend, and he was like, he thought he was the shit. He was this white rapper dude. He said supposedly he knew Eminem and all this shit. And he would go to battles, and he would win. And I'm like, this motherfucker's not even that good.
The rabbit.
Yeah, like B-Rabbit. He wasn't even that great, and I started just writing. And like I swear, like not to be cocky, but like from the beginning, I was already like, holy shit, I'm pretty like fucking good. And that's how it took off. And then when I would come home to vacation to Miami, I would see this motherfucker. He'll be like, hey, we're doing music too. I'm like, oh no shit, man. I started writing too. And then we'll go to the studio. So I will fly in for a weekend, and 2 of those days we'll go studio, and we'll go lay down like 5 songs. And that weekend I'm visiting, I'll leave. And then next time I visit, I will keep doing that. And that's how it started. And then it just took off. And I'm in Virginia. You know, it's like kind of like New York. There's like battle rappers, like the real MCs, and it's like New York style. So I got into that shit. And
what era was this?
This got to be 2000, 99, 2000, like military. 99, 2000, 2001 is when I started.
So who was big at this time?
Shit.
Was DMX big at this time?
No, that was like 99, 98 DMX. Outkast was on like their 3rd album. Jay-Z was like on their 4th album. Fabulous is just coming out. Mobb Deep was on their 3rd album. I remember because as soon as I got out of boot camp, the first thing I wanted to do was go eat Taco Bell at 9 in the morning and go to Specs or Sam Goody.
Wow.
Because I needed to buy the first releases. Because I used to skip school every Tuesday and go buy any CD that came out. I used to buy like 4 or 5 CDs every Tuesday because that's when they dropped. That's how bad I was with music.
I was like that too.
I remember Specs.
Specs, man, Sam Goody. Shit, they don't even have CDs.
Paying $20 for a CD, $15.99 and shit.
Hell yeah.
Fuck, dude.
So that's what I used to do. So that's how it started. I got into it for the love of it, and then I was like, I'm better than this guy. I think I'm better than this dude.
But doing it live or doing it in the studio? What if you had to pick? What's like obviously live, right? That's like
live is
adrenaline rush and shit.
Get that because I didn't start with live. It was more studio, and I used to I thought I was pretty good at composing. Like I would just write. My thing was my cousins, my brother would help me compose songs. I would just write for fucking like 100 bars, and like, yo, you gotta like stop and put like a hook somewhere. So they helped me with that, but that's why I like the studio first. But as I kept going, like live shows is awesome, man, because it just takes one person. Like I would have like horrible shows that the mic's feedbacking. You're like, oh my god, I forgot a fucking verse. This is horrible. We sound like shit, and I just want to get the fuck out of there. As soon as I get off stage, one dude's like, yo, y'all fucking killed it, man. Y'all the best. I'm like, that whole thought shit went out the door, and this is why we do it, you know. And I
Did you see the Grammys? Was it the Grammys?
No,
Eminem performed live?
I watched it like everybody 2020, just like the highlights. Like I
it
do
sounded like
ESPN.
his sound was like fucked up, but everybody when I read it later was like, "Oh, it was so great that he was there." I was like,
that same thing happened with me with the Kobe Bryant, the Boyz II Men national anthem was horrible. Everyone was like, "They killed it." I was like, "That shit was horrible." I didn't like the Boyz II Men national anthem. Did y'all like that shit?
I didn't hear it, dude.
Horrible.
Yeah.
First of all, they were missing the bassy guy, so he wasn't even in there. And the other guy was doing the bass. I don't know. It just sucked. It was so irrelevant. But yeah, man, that's how the music shit happened. It just took off. And coincidentally, everybody of my best friend, my cousins, we were all going at the same time. And we started Total Control Productions. And that started moving. When I came back home, I moved to Vegas. I went out there to visit my sister. And then, like, she's my cousin, but I call her my sister. I moved out there to visit, and I never came back for like 3 years. And I stayed out there, and I started doing shows and music. And that's when I get into the live shows. That's my first time doing, like, performance and shit like that. And it was pretty cool because like, I got into the local scene really fast because my first show, I get out there, and I got, like, 20 girls wearing my shirts, all these hoes in the front row, and I'm performing. They wear my shirt, singing my shit. Little do they know it's my cousin, my cousin's wife, my other cousin. They're all no hoes. They're all, like, family, you know? But no one knows that. Smoke and mirrors. So they were like, who the fuck's this guy? And that's how I got into the scene really quick over there. It was pretty good. That was Vegas was an awesome experience.
So let me ask you, the rapping, like the whole music thing, and the being an artist and drawing and stuff. What would you say right now if you could be like top of your game, either rapper or artist? What would you pick? Like, what do you prefer?
I think music's my love. I will always pick that because I still do that. The only reason right now the shift has gone with the energy with the shirts because it's money right now.
Right.
I've done so much hustling, and unfortunately I've had not successful all the way with the music. So it's, you know, you get discouraged and shit. But music, you have to make an album. Maybe we could do shows. Maybe we get money. Maybe we go on tour. Maybe we get this. But shirts is like, I need 10 shirts. The money's right here, right now. I need 100 shirts right now. I get the money on hand right now.
Right.
And I watched a podcast with Todd McFarlane, a famous artist, one of my favorite artists. He mentioned one day about pillars. So he's like, look, when I came out, it was comics. And then when the comics shit crashed, we were kind of like losing ourselves. So he's like, I went out and branched out to toys. I did movies, and I built pillars.
Can I stop you right now?
Go ahead.
Toys. You can check it out. We have some McFarlane toys at manofactionfigures.com.
Hell yeah.
We're out on US 1, 275-51 South Dixie Highway, or manofactionfigures.com. Action figures, collectibles, statues. I had to throw that in there since you talked about McFarlane.
Yeah, and McFarlane just dropped a whole bunch of new DC products, DC films. So
yeah, he's doing some DC now.
He just picked up a lot of contracts. But look, he mentioned that, and he said, look, what I did when comics weren't selling and they were crashing, I built my pillars of movies and toys, and what that ultimately allowed me to do once those got successful, they just allowed me to go back and showcase my original thing that I wanted to show was my art, because I'm stable with this. He's like, it's like juggling. He's like, you got to know your number. Right. Even the best juggler can juggle 21 pins, but you add that one more, he's probably going to drop it all. So you just got to know your number. And that's what I used to do. I used to spread myself so thin with trying to edit, podcasting, fucking art, TV, this, and music, and drawing. I just kind of narrowed it down. I never stopped. I'm staying in the gym with the writing. I write every day. But I'm
music? You write music every day?
I write lyrics.
Oh wow, I didn't know that, because that was one of my questions. Like, have you, I know you're not like full blown into that, but so like that's always on your.
I annoy these guys every day. Like in the backyard, they want to hear music. I'm just rapping over beats like a karaoke machine, like all day.
It's awesome, bro.
Yeah, man.
Dude, I want you to put out that thing you did one day. We were here watching the fights. Yeah, that movie thing.
I'm actually gonna put it out very soon. I found
dude, that thing is fire, dude. Put that out.
This man right here.
Yeah.
Check that out.
He's got like a rap that's almost all the lyrics are titles of movies, right?
Yeah,
basically,
I use 98 titles,
all lumped together, and
but it makes sense.
It's not ridiculous. Like it's like he's actually like I'm talking right now. That makes sense.
You know the beauty about that song? That I wrote it on deployment in the ocean.
For real?
I wrote a rap. I always used to write in my dental office at nighttime. I had a boombox that you could record with a tape.
What's a boombox?
I had this radio that you could plug up a mic and you could play the CD. So I'll buy instrumental CDs, but you could record on the tape. You know, like old record and hit play record shit.
Yeah.
And the mic, I used to hang it on the dental chair, lift up the chair. I had a do-rag.
Like a ghetto studio.
I had a hanger. I got a do-rag and I made a popper. I made this with a do-rag and a hanger.
A pop filter,
I hung it in front of the mic on the little tray where the dental tray's on the chair. I pick it up.
Shit.
And we used to battle in there, record tapes. That's how I started.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, man. In the Navy. Battling Marines.
That's a great fucking story,
man. Awesome, man. There's good-ass rappers I met in the military, like some fucking good-ass rappers, man. But that's how movies was written. I was writing a regular rhyme, and then one verse came out with like 5 titles, and I was like, holy shit, that was pretty dope. And I was trying to do it more. I'm like, hold up, this is hard. Let me write down a list. And I just started listing my fresh classics.
Give me one little line of that.
I said, you come at the Godfather, you need a brave heart, a lethal weapon, and die hard when you face off. Spray cannons, so you better be packing a bulletproof or a full metal jacket.
Damn.
You go against G, you plan to get scraped. It's like 12 monkeys going against a planet of apes. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it was all like that. Titles. It's fucking awesome. When are you gonna put it out?
Actually, look, yesterday I was doing what.
Because this has been almost a year that I heard it.
Right. You know what it was? Like, there's certain songs artists might know this. Sometimes you have all these songs you record, and there's sometimes that one song that you've tried multiple times, and it just never sounds what you wanted to hear. And that's been that one, bro. Either the beat is not the one I want. It's just not, the recording's never good. But when I perform it and when I do it, it's fucking epic. And I just haven't. I've been picky, but it hasn't got there. But yesterday, no lie, my cousin and I were like freestyling. I found a beat, and I think I'm gonna put it to that beat ASAP, like within the next 3 weeks for sure.
Shit.
So it'll be coming out soon.
All right.
Promise. Cool, keep it out. AMC movies.
Dropping before the end of March. All right.
Well, staying on the artistic tip,
Okay.
who will you say, person, or it could be a famous person or maybe a family member or anybody, who was your biggest inspiration to be an artist?
Art or
either or. Who was your biggest inspiration as a kid growing up for you to do what you do today?
Art-wise, I liked Todd McFarlane. I have him tattooed. I have 2 of his artwork. I have Spider-Man here and Venom from Todd McFarlane, and those are the comics I collected. I used to specifically collect his comics. And how ironically that the guy that I specifically collect now is Greg Capullo, which was his apprentice. Like he used to draw Spawn after him. He drew like everything right after him. So I kind of like both of those artists, and I think it's because they used to work together. I didn't even know that. And Todd McFarlane, I think on the drawing side and on music.
Are they similar? Like their style?
No, they're kind of different. McFarlane always had that kind of like horror Disney look.
Yeah, like a dark look. Yeah.
But it was cartoony, like the fat little nose. He had like that Disney feel.
Like a Nightmare Before Christmas kind of?
More like Disney, like the little bubbly eyes, but he made him weird, but he drew Spider-Man dope all the time. He had made him do all the weird poses. He was the first guy to start drawing, like, everything was squares. He started going out of the square, like his elbow sticking out of the square, going overlapping to the other square. And they were like, Marvel was like, you can't do that. He's like, why not? Like, he was the first one, like, you can't make the eyes that big because John Romita drew him with these kind of eyes. And he was starting to change it up.
Of the sandbox.
He did the little spiral webbing thing. He created that. And then that
those different webs.
You can't do that with the webs and have the webs coming out of the page. And he was like, why the hell not?
Spawn was fucking badass.
So he was my, and then for music, shit, it was so many because I grew up, I was lucky. I was born in L.A. and my brothers are from the Bronx. So I had so much New York in me. But we also was.
So what side were you on?
So you were like
East Coast, West Side.
Biggie Smalls,
when we first
Tupac.
came over here, it was all gangster rap at first, and
Right.
and then my cousins lived in Compton, so we were like shit. We were like straight out of Compton. You feel me? We were rapping hard. So look, no lie, back in the 89, 90s when we first moved here, my cousins used to wear black trench coats, LA King hats, Raider hats.
They were in NWA.
Straight NWA. They were Mexican little dudes. He had a black Astro van with gold Daytons.
Oh shit!
With Astros for the Jetsons on the back, spare tires airbrushed on there, all black on black, gold Daytons. Like, we were straight gangster.
So
rappers.
West Coast for
West
sure.
Coast. But once Wu-Tang and all that shit started popping up, I'm like, hey, they're from the Bronx. We can rep New York too, because we used to live up there too. So it was like I was beneficial to represent both. You know what I'm saying? I like that shit. And then I'm from the South. Then I started wearing gold teeth. So I'm like, where the fuck you from? You Spanish? You got gold teeth, but you like you rap like a New York nigga, but you look like a West Coast. So I like that. I think that's what helped me.
How about like a family member? Is anybody else like inclined like musically or artistically?
I found out.
You said your brother and your cousin.
My brothers rapped before me in church.
Wow.
Yeah, like we were like straight like gangster shit, and then we had family members pass away, and then after Hurricane Andrew, my oldest brother started going to church. And they were still like from the streets, but since they were trying to like holler at these girls, they were like really going into church. So then they brought that whole rap shit. What they would do is they'll bring like Wu-Tang instrumentals or big instrumentals, and they'll rap like Christian shit, but to like Wu-Tang, like instead of Cash Rules, it'd be some other shit.
Right.
But they were dope. My brother was good, Chris, and that's who
I never heard him rap.
And my older brother, who doesn't rap now, they were the ones who inspired me, because I'm like, yo, y'all dope, and they started, and I just never thought of rap. Even when I graduated, I
would love to hear one of those church raps one day, dude. I'm gonna ask him next time I see him. Like
songs that
drop
he'll pick
one.
are like so bad songs, but he had the instrumentals, and he'll make them like worship Jesus, and yeah, it was funny though. But that's who kind of motivated me. Then later on, I had uncles that played in Ecuador. I have a famous aunt in Ecuador.
Play guitar.
That she used to sing boleros, and with like Armando Manzanero, and like my uncle, rest in peace, he just passed away. He used to play the guitar with her, and I found out my grandfather did music, so it's been in the family. Right. And my dad loves karaoke. He's not good, but he loves it.
Yeah, so the artistic.
So it's there, yeah. And my dad's like attention entertainer. I've always been an entertainer, man. I want the attention of the room, like. I
it's
get
in the blood.
I get something out of it. You know what I mean? Like I love making people laugh.
Gives you a rush.
If it's boring, I want to make it popping.
Right.
That's my whole thing.
For
or
sure.
If you're pissed, I want to make you like, hey, it's not that bad. It really isn't, man. It really isn't. I used to tell him all the time, like, hey, man, it's all good, bro. It's all right, man. Fuck it. My dad, that's his best advice. You can ask any family member.
Fuck it.
Those are his two best words. He's like, yo, fuck it.
Fuck it.
I swear to God. The hardest shit, anything I've gone through in life has been bad, and I've gone to him. He's like, fuck it. Bro.
Fuck it is good.
Fuck it, man.
Yeah, fuck it is good. You can do it, which is fucking Nike, obviously, but that's a fucking good one too, dude.
Fuck,
that people just have to fucking just like anything, dude. If you could just say I can do it, not you can do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
I think I get a lot from my dad.
Because your mind, dude, your mind will fuck with you.
I think my dad's mindset, because of my dad, I don't know if people know, but my dad is disabled. He's lost his one eye vision like in his mid-30s. I think he had some kind of cataracts or some kind of thing that it turned into the gray eye for a while, then the pressure built, and 1 year it was just too bad they just got rid of it and he has a glass eye.
Oh shit, I didn't know that, man.
Yeah, and most people won't, man. Shit, I forget what side it is sometimes, because he doesn't let you see that. You know what I'm saying? But I think that adversity he's always had his whole life. Like my grandfather didn't like him. He was like, what's a blind dude gonna do for my daughter? He didn't even want him.
Oh, so like at an early age you had this
from
problem.
young.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But look, that motherfucker's like best friends with my dad. You know what I mean? Because my dad, and I think that's his way.
Your
of
grandpa's around?
Yeah.
Still? Oh, wow, that's
98
awesome, dude.
years old, bro.
Wow, dude.
Unfortunately, my dad's two parents passed away early. One of them was killed, and the other one passed away with age. But my mom's two parents are still alive.
Wow,
that dude's
dude.
98, bro.
Wow.
Did he live over here, or he's over
in
there?
Ecuador. We try to make him
probably
live
eating
here.
like real. Yeah, you told me. We talked about
That's
this
what
one
don't
time.
want to be here, dog. He was like getting sicker and sicker.
Well, Ecuadorian food is delicious, man.
Yeah, bro.
Yapingacho, right?
Yapingacho. Wow, you know about that shit. Big ups to that. Hey, Pingacho.
If there's one thing Hafa knows, it's food.
Hey, me too.
I'm 300 pounds for a reason,
hey, I'm
bro.
Big G for a reason.
So, dude, that dude's probably eating like real food.
Yeah.
And that's why he's fucking 98, dude, and he's still kicking there,
And he
man.
probably didn't do all the crazy shit we do. You know what I'm saying? Americans here, we party, we drink. He didn't do all that. He was.
Yeah, you'd be
That
surprised.
dude's still saving money. Like, what you saving for?
Processed
man?
foods, too. I don't know how much.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's a
That's
cleaner
another thing.
living
Exactly.
over there, yeah.
Yeah.
So, you got like a lot of old Cubans that, you would think I'm talking about people in Cuba. You would think, oh man, but they live in Cuba, dude. Like, wow. And they're just, I think it's the food, bro. Those people eat like different food, like homegrown stuff they grow in their backyard, you know, and stuff like that.
Less preservative, less like fake sugars, all these like, you know what I'm saying? We eat a whole bunch of bullshit. Like, we can go pick up Skittles, Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, you know, all that shit is like.
It's funny how you put Skittles in the top.
Well, because, you know, it's as dumb as it sounds, it's accessible anywhere we go.
Yeah, Skittles are fucking delicious.
They can't find that shit anywhere. They got to go to like a gift shop in a hotel room or some shit like that.
You ever been back to the...
I haven't been back
to the motherland.
The motherland, shit. When I was 15 or 16, I went for a funeral. But, you know, you can't experience it. Like, it's not the same, man. Going as an adult, I want to go now.
Right.
Right.
But you know what happened? Like, during the time in the military, my only vacation I would take was to come home. So I never would travel somewhere else. You got vacation time? It's coming to Miami.
You go to Ecuador as a kid.
Right.
You basically just visit family and, like, you kept, like, in a sandbox.
And it's been, I don't know why I haven't gone. It's been my fuck up. You know,
there's not too many Ecuadorians here, man.
No. New York, yes. Here, very rare.
Very rare, yeah. I've met a couple.
Yeah.
But not many.
No, that's
I think you're like the third.
And if they are, they're probably related to me somehow.
We had like one in high school, right?
What?
I don't know.
I had one Ecuadorian friend.
I think we did, dude. I'm thinking about it right now. Marcelo, maybe was his name?
No, he was Argentinian.
Okay, never mind. My bad. We didn't have one, dog.
We didn't have one.
All right, so I want to talk a little bit about just Vegas because I never been and I always wanted to be. It's a whiskey fucking with me. How was that like, dude? Man. Did you hit the casinos? Did you hit the strip?
Check it out. So Vegas, I have like Vegas wasn't like a new thing because most of the LA family I was born, my dad's side is West Coast, my mom's side is New York. So most of the family migrated to Vegas, and that's where I lived in 88, 89. I did kindergarten.
From LA? They went from LA?
Yeah, from LA to Vegas.
And it's pretty close, right? It's like
5 hours. It's like Orlando.
Okay.
So we moved there like 88, 89. I did kindergarten in Vegas, so we lived there a year. And then my dad started getting into like, he gambled. Because in Vegas, there's casinos, there's slot machines everywhere. Like, you go to the gas station, there's like 6 there. You get off the terminal, there's machines there. Like
in the bathroom?
Everywhere, bro. Supermarket, wherever. CVS, Walgreens, they're all there. So he started getting into a little bit like fucking up. So my mom's, you know, one of my dad's sisters was living here and we moved here. But ever since then, every summer I would get dropped off. Like my mom would send me, as soon as school ends, I would go like a month and chill in Vegas. So every summer I would grow up there. Like I was living there. And then when I joined the Navy, I was 17. By the time I got to San Diego, I was 18, 19. And I would drive to Vegas in the weekends. And my cousins were 18, 17 at the time, and they're still in high school. So I would go to high school parties and vibe with everybody still in high school. So I was chilling kind of like with the same clique that my cousins grew up and doing cool, all like the weekend parties, the bonfires and all this shit. So I grew up in Vegas kind of. So I never like left that place. And then that's why when I went back, it was kind of like a second home.
Like
and
a homecoming.
Dope, bro. Like I told you, once we did the music, we got in there. Like I was getting offered like shows. So I went out to do music, and then I ended up, when Cam left, I ended up becoming like a VJ. We just started throwing events like, hey, Latin nights, hip hop nights, and I was just like hosting. I wasn't like performing, and it turned into some other shit. And we were just having like 3 years of craziness, bro. We made so much money. But
that sounds like a good time, dude.
We were all new. Like I was new to performing. My sister, who was backing it with the money, she has a tow company, and shit has nothing to do with music.
Tow truck?
Yeah, tow
truck.
Oh,
okay.
The Shop Towing. Check out the Shop Towing and Royalty Towing, my cousin.
In Vegas?
In Vegas, man.
If you need a tow?
Yeah, man. My cousin does exotic towings, and Sandy does everything, man. So look up the Shop Towing. But, and then my cousin, Sweet Pea, she was managing us. And she had like the license to do shows.
Wait, you have a cousin named Sweet Pea?
No, her name is Perla. But when we started doing music, we used aliases because we like my cousin was Serenity, I was Big G, and no one knew me. So like here, they'd be like, "Oh, you're Gio from fucking Cutter Ridge. You went to whatever." Over there, they just knew me as Big G.
Right.
They don't know shit about
me. What would
be
your rapper name, dude?
I don't know, man. I think Hoffa.
Hoffa. That shit sounds hard already.
Jimmy Hoffa. I'm surprised there hasn't been a rapper by the name of Jimmy Hoffa, because they did like a lot of those like mafia guys that are Capone,
now these names are
Noriega.
You just gotta put a Lil Hoffa. So
this would be Big Hoffa.
Yeah, I don't want little.
But look, when I went out there, I started doing everything, man. We was going out, party. I met up with the DJ that was coming up at the time. So we were fucking radio interviews, partying. It was rock and roll lifestyle, man. It chewed me up and it spit me out 3 years later. I was like, what the fuck happened? But it was amazing. Like,
did you hit the gambling?
When I first got there, I'm not a gambler. Just like at a strip club, I hate tossing money. But by the third year, dog, after all the craziness, like, yeah, man, started going to the local spots. When you live there, you don't go to the strip. You go to, like, here. Like, I don't go to South Beach.
Right.
We go to fucking Homestead, Kendall, Ale House.
Yeah, like if you live in New York, you don't go to Times Square.
Exactly. We went to the spots locally in the east side or the north town, like casinos, but that's where we'll go. And that's where I'll start gambling. And there's, like, cheaper tables, so you can go there and drink all night. And
you find out
$5 minimum. You go to the big spots in the casinos, $20, $25 a hand. Right. You're like, fuck.
Yeah.
But look, I partied every day for like 3 years, man. I saw everything. And I think I saw only like 45% of that city. There's so much shit.
Wow, dude. Wow. I'm dying to go, man.
Bro,
you never gone?
I will see the sun every
No, dude,
every
I
morning.
may never come back if I go. That's the problem.
I've gone.
I may just die over there.
We found a spot called Casino Royale, like the name of the James Bond movie. Place. And it was $1 shots, $1 drinks all day, bro.
That place,
Jimmy Hoffa.
You can leave and eat like a $3.99 steak and egg breakfast, like anywhere in the middle of the day. And like anything on the strip is usually open 24. So if you have a business on the strip, it's normally open. It's crazy, man.
I'm going.
The Deuce Bus. Did you ever catch the Deuce Bus?
Well, at that time it didn't exist. But now, I've
like a little trolley.
And shit, now they got recreational fucking marijuana. So it's like.
In Vegas?
In Vegas.
Oh, I didn't know that, dude.
And they go all out. So their dispensaries look like fucking Disneyland.
It's like another reason to go. What else did they need, dude?
Now they got
What's up with the prostitution there?
It's fucking. Like,
they have the little
100%.
The Mexicans with the little
ladies of the night.
Cards.
They call them.
Ladies of the night.
You get the yellow pages, bro.
Shout out to Comic Bro.
Hey, straight
up, Comic Bro.
Hey, you get the yellow pages in Vegas. This much is like the yellow pages, and the back end is about that much of escorts.
It's the H pages,
bro. It's like so many. It's crazy.
So that's 100% legal.
There's like the little blurry gray areas, but yeah, basically they don't fuck with you.
Yeah. So you can basically. I think it's more legal in Nevada, like in Reno and shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Nevada is Vegas.
I mean, yeah, and I mean in Reno. In Reno, it's prostitution is legal.
In the outskirts of Vegas, like Pahrump and all these other little cities, they have like bunny ranches and shit like that.
Right,
Vegas they have call girls.
Vegas is more like frowned upon, but it's like jaywalking.
It's like
jaywalking. It's like jaywalking.
Exactly.
They're not gonna arrest you for it, but
so you could literally be in your room and like phone in.
You get the yellow
whore and weed.
Well, you got yellow pages. You got Mexicans on the strip.
Like bring them to you
with little cards, and they're like,
you can either order the weed and then order the whore, or have the whore bring the weed.
Right. Hey, can you stop by over here on the way and bring that in? Damn,
it's crazy, man. It's very crazy. But you know what? Like I tell people,
that must have been a fucking great 3 years.
It was, man. It was, and you know what? My family's been blessed that they've been in that city when it was small, and now it's so big that they're very connected, man. Like I used to go, like they work everywhere, so we have plugs everywhere. Like my cousin had the keys to get in all the pools. Like we used to just like, where you want to go, Mandalay Bay? I got that shit. Like we
Holy
had,
shit.
Yeah, it was awesome. So I got spoiled because we had like a little bit of. Not everybody has that. You feel me? So,
right.
And same thing with everything else. I had the plugs. Luckily, like luckily I had the right people that I was meeting. So I was like.
And you have like a big family,
man,
dude.
Huge.
Like
my mom's side, I think is 9 to 10 brothers and sisters, and then my dad's side is like 9 to 10 to 11.
Wow.
And they've lost a couple, so imagine they've all had like 3 kids, and you just keep multiplying that shit, and it's big.
Yeah, like I've been to your place to go watch a fight, and then like I remember the first time I went there, your brother introduced me to everybody. I think that was like the first hour of me being there was him saying, "Hey, this is so and so. This is so and so." I was like, "Man, there's so many cousins and aunts and uncles." But what's cool is that they all hang out and stuff, which was awesome.
I don't have a lot of friends, like not like that, but I'm saying like my most tight, like my circle is basically family. Like that guy's my cousin. Like everyone.
Yeah, you don't need to go too far. There's a bunch.
I have so many, and then obviously they're best friends, and those become like the bigger the group. But the original like circle is all cousins, man. I have so many motherfucking cousins.
That's
and
awesome.
They're all guys.
Yeah, that is cool, dude. Like, especially, I had like I didn't even. It was like me and my sisters.
I got a tiny family.
And I wanted to kill them, dude.
You could fit my whole family like in a bathroom.
But I think I connect with people like that because most of my friends are like that, and I love showing them that shit exists because they don't believe like in. They don't trust. They don't like. So sometimes I'm like, yo, I'm glad that like I'm showing you like, look, this shit exists. Like there is love. There is like this shit. So I take pride in it. And like I like people that don't have that. I'm like, yo, come in, dog. Open doors.
Right.
That's how we are. Only you fuck up how we treat you.
Right. Yeah. No, I felt like super welcome there.
It's cool.
Third year in a row, you're going to be hitting Florida Supercon 2 this year.
Yes.
which is that is in.
They're normally in June. I think this year's in May. I think they didn't want it interfering with 4th of July because last year they did it. And
okay, so a couple months you're gonna be out there
Yes,
in
sir.
Artist Row. We don't know the booth number. We Man of Action Figures. We're gonna be out there too with him. We don't know booth number
Not
or
yet.
anything like that. We're gonna pump that future podcast episodes and social
check
media.
it out, man. Look, even people that don't know about Supercons, it's not just all kiddie shit. There's like alcohol. There's different things besides just comics. There's like so much shit you can see.
Scantily clad women,
TV stuff, movies. It's not just
you're
comic
into
books,
that.
fantasy, everything. It's really cool, man. And even after hours, after the floor room closes at 8, there's stuff that goes on till 2 in the morning. They have masquerades. They have wrestling matches.
You should go, dude.
Yeah,
It's not bad.
I'm down.
Well, if we're going, we got badges, so we can get you guys in. Like no pressure.
We don't need no stinking badges.
We don't need no badges. It's really cool.
Tell us
man.
about that experience a little bit, because I've only been as a outsider,
Right. Well, that's how I started.
and I never been to the beach, which is a big spot.
It's awesome, man. Look, when I went back in the day, I used to go to Park Plaza Hotel in Hialeah, the one right off the 836. That's where all the conventions used to be held in the lobby.
Is that where Rick's Bar? No.
Yeah. No.
Back in the day, the conventions were just white boxes,
Was it
white
Rick's Bar?
tents,
No.
and it was boring.
Was it?
Rick's Bar was in Hialeah,
Rick's
right,
Bar's in
49th
Hialeah.
Street. That's not the same place you're talking about?
I don't
Where's
think
the
so.
place you're
lobby,
talking about?
right? In the hotel, right?
Yeah.
I think now, I forgot what's the name of the hotel. Right before the Palmetto Hospital. There's like a hotel, Park Plaza Hotel. I think it might be the Holiday Inn now or some other shit. But whatever.
Anyways, yeah, not
Yeah, it
important.
used to be like a little nightclub back in the day in
See,
there.
conventions in my head were like what I
With
used
some
to go
old
to.
ladies.
It was just tables,
Other
white
nights.
cloth, and boxes of comics, and it was kind of boring. Now
Right.
that shit is not like that, bro. There's
No.
half naked ass women. There's Legos. There's clothes, backpacks. There's massage companies. There's fucking kitchen furnishing, refurbishing,
Original
shit.
artwork.
Everything. Original artists is cool, man. And that was my fear. At
Meet and
first.
greet with artists.
I was worried about like getting hit up like Marvel, like, hey, you can't sell that. But when I get there, it's all people like me. Like, I know all these people don't work for Marvel or DC, and they're drawing shit, making money off of it. So then I got a little bit more like cool.
Right.
And I went as a guest, and I was spending like $250 for like the 4-day pass and all that bullshit. And I was like, one day I met a friend, and he's like, I'm like, how is that shit? You think it's worth it? He's like, bro. He's like, even if you don't make money, he's like, you can't pay outside in the world $600, $700 to get the kind of advertisement and promoting you're gonna get in these 4 days. Like the amount of traffic and like exposure you get is worth it already without gaining. He's like, and you're gonna sell. He's like, you're gonna sell for sure, and it's mad easy. And then I was like, yo, you're already putting in $250, just pay a little bit more. And I started, and it's fun, man. And then you're there first, you get discounts, you meet vendors, you trade, and it's just a cool experience, man. It's a really cool experience to be on that side. Look, I didn't want to get up. Like normally, I want to go walk around. When I've been working, I just want to sit in my booth and like I want to get that interaction. And I do like a slow pull.
Yeah, that's
you know?
awesome.
Yeah, man, it's really cool.
I got a buddy of mine. Not a buddy. He's a cousin. My cousin lives in L.A. and I've been dying like to meet up with him. Like when Comic-Con is on over there.
That's the goal.
Yeah.
To get to the big ones.
But yeah, I'm definitely down to go here, man.
Yeah, man.
Is that your cousin that's
Yeah.
going to come on here one day?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Tell him what he does. He's the editor.
He's an editor to DC Heroes of Tomorrow. Well, he's done like a bunch of
The show, the Legends.
yeah. He's done a bunch of stuff. He's done like Top Gear. He's
Hell
done
yeah.
like independent films. He's done like a bunch of projects. You know, like he works on like the, like project base. Like like he does like a project. Then when the contract ends, when it's
He moves on
it's
to the
out there,
next
he moves on to the
contract,
next
yeah.
thing. But yeah, man, he's
That's
he's the real deal, man.
That's the dope thing with this game. I think when we first, like me and my cousin, we first came into music, we were like, man, I wish we knew people. Like now, because of the years in the art side and music, we have friends already like Grammy nominated. My friend plays bass for Pitbull. Like we have people in like what we used to
Bass
wish we
guitar?
had. Yeah. Pitt's
I
bass
play
player,
bass
my boy.
guitar.
Shout out to my boy Leo. He's Pitt's bass player. His album's coming out soon.
Nice.
But like what I'm saying is like throughout the years, like now we have those people where we thought we never had. Like I have friends that work at Telemundo, friends that work here, people that got signed, and like people in Vegas and that do this contract royalty.
Start
exotic-
building your Rolodex. They
Right.
used to call it. Anybody know what a Rolodex is?
I don't think so.
It's a thing with papers, and
You
it's
call
like
it-
it's
you
on
call
your
it-
iPhone now.
It's called contacts now.
Yeah, contacts. There you go.
But yeah, like so it's cool. Like throughout the years, like we've got our network and our people are spreading out there. So that's how it happens. That's why when famous people blow up, you're like, how did this guy know this guy? Because like throughout the years, you meet peers throughout the business. So I have friends that I know.
The business.
Yeah, man, it's crazy, man. It's very crazy. It's cool to just stay positive, man. Like I think I got past of trying to be famous and want to be rich and want to be that.
Right.
I think now I enjoy I'm content with just making good money off of what I love doing, and I don't have to be rich. Because at the end of it, I don't want that fame shit.
Like, I wanted to ask you about
I want the
that.
money,
I
but
wanted
not
to
the
ask
fame
you,
part.
Besides the Gio the Navy guy, Gio the artist, and Gio the rapper, just Gio the person, what would you say your best quality is as a person?
Man, I could be a dick, right? But I have a big heart. I think I don't believe in big horoscopes, but I always read those things, and Scorpios are very loving, big heart.
My son's a Scorpio.
But once you fuck that up, like, I shut you out. Right. So I love hard, man. I think I'm open with everybody. I really I'm very too easily to let someone in. But the moment you fuck me, I'm done. And I think my best quality is just I'm a people person. I really like helping, and I really like.
Yeah, I can attest to that.
Because I was a dick for somebody, and I was never positive, and now I'm super positive of the shit I've been through. That I think I like helping. And it happened through life, because when my sister was sick when she was younger, she would drive me up to the mountains and cry and break down and have her pistol on me playing Far Behind by Candlebox. And I'm 15 trying to consult her and shit. That shit matured me, and then I went through another friend that went through cancer, and I got put in these positions that they always came to me, and I always got put in that position to have to help. And sometimes even the people that don't do good in that specific topic, you give better advice for that shit. So even the guy who's single is giving advice to how to date, and the fucking non-parent is telling the fucking parent good parenting advice.
Yeah, sometimes to just being an ear.
Sometimes being outside gives you a better advantage of being the good advice for that kind of shit. So I think over the years getting put in that position, I enjoy that. Like I told you earlier, I like people that tell me they don't believe in trusting and love, and they're not open to people. I'm like, bro, you don't, that shit, it exists. My family's proof. Let me show you. And I take pride in that shit. And my family has that effect, man. The girlfriends and friends, they don't want to leave. Friends that meet my family, Randy told you, they're all super open. Your family's cool as fuck. Your mom's cool as fuck. I take pride in that shit. And that's passed down from my parents.
That's nice, man.
And they all roll together. They get drunk. I had to pick up my parents a year ago, from a party. Their friends calling me, pick up your parents.
That's awesome.
God damn.
Yeah, but the happiness money correlation is not always, money, happiness is not always linear, dude.
But I had that when I first started rap. It was all MTV Cribs, World Tour. Now it's more you know what? If I could just do music and do shows and get paid and do my art and get good money and make that a business.
And you enjoy it.
And I'm happy, bro, that's dope.
That's worth more money.
I don't want that losing that security and that personal life when you get famous. That's the one thing I don't like. Because I'm people person, but I'm also when I want to be alone, don't fuck with me.
You want your own space.
Yeah.
Yeah, that all has a price too.
I'm kind of scared of the fame shit. I don't want that. So I think that's why I don't know, the whole, I don't know, man. I like all of it. I like being an entertainer. I like the shirt, the clothing. If I can do them all, I'm going to try, man. That's my goal.
The bottom line is you got to do what makes you happy. Everybody needs a minimum amount to live. Obviously, in this world that we live in, there's a minimum we need to make. And then after that, it's all negligible, X amount of dollars more. Is it really going to change your life,
And it's how you look at it, really. I've gotten more to that state at this age, after heartbreak, breaking hearts, being broke, fucking up. I look at silver lining and more of that whole, the positive side of shit, half cup full, half cup empty shit. And I used to laugh at that bullshit, being in Zen and don't let vibration, but it's kind of true.
No,
maybe not in that sense, but if I don't even believe in that specific way of believing in it, but the whole point is if you don't let it be important, that shit ain't important. And I think I've gotten to that level of being cool. When shit's shaking up, I'm I try to relax because it will fix. The moment I stress I'm stressing tonight about bills, it ain't gonna change from here till 6 a.m. Why the fuck am I tripping?
The stress level is not gonna change any of the facts.
If I start tripping from here to 2 a.m, stripping, not sleeping, tripping out, how am I gonna fix it? It ain't gonna change from here to tomorrow. So might as well just drink, relax. Tomorrow you attack it again.
Right.
And you might think fresher because it's looking for shit when you're looking for keys and you can't find it. Slow down. And you fight it when you're not looking for it.
That's a state of mind, or your perception becomes reality.
And I think now at 38, I see it like that more because I fucked up too. I wasn't good at money, but I have friends and family that are. And at first, I used to feel kind of fuck, I'm fucking up. They own houses, they're doing this, they're doing that, and I'm not. I used to look at it negative and look at the negative shit. But now that I'm I told this metaphor the other day. I was I'm glad I kind of learned the people skills first and not the money, and now I can fix the money and have both strengths. It's kind of you could be a hood dude I could dress you up and take you to a rich party, and you can blend and work your way in. But you can't take a rich motherfucker and make him blend into the hood shit. You got to either born with that or you can't fake it.
Right.
But you can fake it, kind of like act like you. It's different. You have both sides, and you have like a strength. And I think I take that, like, since I wasn't good with hustling and making money like that, and so many failed attempts. But my fucking pros is people skills. I have so many friends and network that now if I master the money part, I'm fucking Voltron.
There's like a saying I remember right now. They're like the biggest
Voltron.
Failure is acceptable. I'm fucking this up. Failure is acceptable, but what's not acceptable is like not trying, you know. And like every failure is a chance to learn, and like that you can never be afraid to fail at anything, because if you are, then you're never gonna do anything. So you just, whatever you're doing, you just got to try it, and if it didn't work, try to learn, and then just keep going, and then you can't quit, dude. You just got to keep.
I follow Gary V. I don't know if you guys follow him. He's a good motivational speaker, man. And that motherfucker motivates me all the time. He says some good shit, and like his way of thinking is so true. And it's like there's no age, there's no limit. Like, who made the rule of when you're supposed to have this ready? I think we always pressure ourselves on expectations of our parents. What we're supposed to be at 31, supposed to be married, supposed to have kids, supposed to do this. I'm like, shit, I'm 38. I can live another lifestyle 38 years and still be under 70 and be like, I'm good. I'm probably 80. My math is horrible, but you know what I mean? Like, you still have the double of your life.
Old goat.
Old goat, yeah, man. And with this brain, so it's like,
we can't keep numbers, dude. Numbers don't matter, dude. Look at J-Lo in the Super Bowl, dude. Like, if they told you
hot ass,
you're thinking 50 years old, you know, back in the day you're thinking like Golden Girls, and now 50 is like J-Lo, dude.
Well, not always.
Not always.
Not all of them.
I see some fucking terrible looking 50-year-olds.
Well, yeah, there's terrible looking 20-year-olds, dude, but still, like, you know, one of my favorite.
I think J-Lo's a bad example, bro.
But you know
but she's 50 though. But you know,
it's just 50.
The overall of everything is dope. It's like life is so dope, man. There's like so much. Like, you can't trip if you fall down. Like, there's so much more. Just look at my grandfather, 98. He could live 3 times what I've done, so you can fix that. There's always time. But the problem is, society's already built with this mind state of like, I have to be here by this age. I have to do this, and that kind of like
checkpoints. They give us checkpoints.
Look, he said the other day, we build our own like jail cells. Like, we say like, I better be rich by 25. And when you don't, you're stuck with that pressure because you said it. Now you're fucked because you announced it. So like, don't.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's 38 years old.
Yeah, he said
38-year-old guys out there that are married with like 6 kids, and they fucking like, damn, I wish I was like Big G, bro. You know, fucking hang out, go out, do whatever I want, you know, and I'm here stuck at home with 6 fucking pesky kids.
And it's also my state, because I know parents that have kids and they're young, but they act like, oh, they go to sleep at 8 and they don't do shit. But then I have other parents that are the same shit, but their mind state's different. They're more live and youthful. So it's just also how you...
Yeah, your personality.
How you see it. But
that no age thing, I never buy into that, dude. Like, no, you know, like... you could do anything, dude, at any age, man. Just start doing it. That's it. Just start doing it.
The same way, like, the double-edged sword of, like, the technology and internet fucked up everything, it kind of helps. Because, look, now it just got rid of all those, boundaries. Like, before rap, if you're rapping gangster shit, you're a rapper. If you're soft, you're R&B. You have to be, like, hood shit. Now, like, you can wear sandals and long hair and be a surfer and rap. And it's cool because you have Asher Roth, fucking Ed Sheeran, you have fucking Macklemore. There's no more demographics. Boundaries. Right. At first, it did
They're
fuck
like
up
gender
sales.
fluid or something.
And look, internet fucked up CD sales, but what it did open is like you can be your own entity on your own. You can put out your own platform, have your own following, your own shit on your own. And
it made everybody like independent.
So it's like it's a double-edged sword. It's like, yeah, it did fuck this up, but it is helping change the game on some other shit.
I agree.
So it's hard.
It's not a set mold for anything.
Even me, I'm trying really hard not to become like, oh, by time music was better. So I've been trying to be more open to the newer shit, even though I know it's like different, but I try to read the lyrics now because they do a lot of like auto-tune and mumbling. But like when you read it, like some of them say good shit. I'm like, all right, I just gotta be more open-minded. I don't want to fall into the category. I gotta see what
I fell into that hole and I'm never coming out of it, dude.
Right, and it's cool.
I don't know why.
Hey, but that's cool.
Every once in a while, I always ask though, like everybody like that I hang out with that's like more into it or a little bit younger, like, wait, dude, what should I listen to that's new? And every once in a while, you know, I get something that's good. But would you say overall it's not as good as like,
you know what happened?
Obviously in the 90s?
My boy told me this. Before, it was only like bars and lyrics.
That's lyrical.
Now it became vibe. Now the producers even stand out. Now when you hear a song, you hear in the beginning, murder on the beat, or somebody made the beat. Like, producers are standing out more. So I think they're going more into like less lyrics and more of a good like party jumpy shit. And look, there was an era where music was dancing. People dance off and shit. There's more dancing now. TikTok's doing dancing, so it just went. It's like in a cycle.
It's
man.
all cyclical.
It's a big cycle, but it's just different. And there's good MCs out there. There's the ones that do love like us that are young and they rap like J. Cole, Logic. They're actually spitting raps and they're very conscious. They're talking about good shit. They're not just talking about bullshit.
Right.
But then the other ones,
those guys are more like a throwback.
right? They love like shit like us. But then I like the ignorant shit too, man. Because like the shit I like too. I grew up with Master P.
Funny shit. Yeah.
So not even funny shit. Just to like, hey, it's like you know, some of that shit like, hey,
yeah, ridiculous.
anything that's
shit.
out playing in public, you know how it is. Even if you don't like the song, if you're in the club and that shit goes on, you're gonna dance to it. But at home, you would never play it in your car.
Luke stuff.
Luke shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's just how you look at it. It's okay. I don't like it like that. I know when some of it's whack and I laugh at it, but there's some that's like, all right, if I didn't have an open mind, I wouldn't hear it.
Well, maybe we'll bring you for that episode when we do that episode.
down.
We're gonna
I'm
do a
down for
hip hop
any
episode one day.
I definitely want
talk
to
about
that.
that.
One
I don't know anything about like modern. I know very little about
that's
modern
good.
shit.
That's good because that gives the conversation.
Yeah,
It's a
definitely
natural
have to have
shit.
some young bucks for that show.
Because of your non-knowledge is why you judge it that way. But imagine if you did.
Yeah.
That was me. Like I used to not like this one artist and I used to hate it. Then one day I started listening. I'm like, fuck, now I like him. And I used to like not like him.
No, but I have listened to some of it, and I don't like it. But there's, every once in a
Hey,
while,
bro, but that's with anything. You don't have to eat fucking collard greens and broccoli if you don't like it. Like,
I say that
love
about
it.
movies too, though. Like
That's-
lately, there's not good movies.
But what's the
dude.
bad in that? It's like art, man.
Yeah.
It's like there's no wrong because you don't like it. It just doesn't mean it's not good.
It doesn't appeal to me, I guess.
You know when I learned that? When I dropped
Like,
my
what's-
album, I would ask people, what's your favorite song? And it would shock me all the time that people would say different shit every time. And I'm like, really?
songs that maybe you didn't think
yeah,
were
like,
as
I
good.
didn't think that one. That's my favorite one. I'm like, that one out of not this one. It's like, nah, that was cool.
Not this one. No.
But when they would change up, I was like, that's crazy. Like,
Right, because people
holy shit! I
perceive.
didn't even think that one would be even in the top, and
Right.
it is. And I'm like, to my mind, it's not. It's like my least favorite. So that
That's happened
aspect
to me.
helps
That's
you
happened to
out.
me.
So it's like pretty cool. Like, shit, everything is different, man.
Yeah, people are
And
different.
it's okay. The problem is people think is you can't. Like, that's the problem. They don't want you to like disagree. Like, you gotta like it. It's good. Like, why? I didn't
No.
like it, but it's okay if I didn't fucking like
Yeah,
it.
Right.
we're all different.
But it's
so,
hard.
what is the best movie of the last 20 years?
Oh fuck.
Would you say
Now, see, it's
one
hard.
movie, the best one,
Out of,
last
like,
20
comedy,
years,
drama, and
anything,
everything.
Anything.
the best movie in the 2000s,
Damn,
basically is what I'm
that's
asking.
very tough, man. That's a broad statement. Now I can break down like 4, like comedy, drama, and
Okay, go ahead. That's
comedy.
cool. Give me 4.
All right. Comedy last 20 years.
Yep. Because my whole thing is, I'm always saying, and you kind of agree with me, that there's no really, really, really good movies in the last 20
so
years.
that goes back from here to 99.
Yep.
Motherfucker.
Because when I'm talking about the best movies, I'm talking about like The Matrix. I'm talking about like Tombstone. I'm talking about like
growing up, one of my
Godfather.
favorites was Braveheart. Like I can
But
quote
that's
you that.
pre-2000.
Right.
Right.
So then
Comedies,
now, if you
I-
did comedy, I think Hangover when it first came out.
How about Step Brothers, dude?
Step Brothers is classic.
You
See,
see?
that's
That's
what's hard.
post-2000.
That's what
There you go,
sucks.
there you go, there you go.
20 years is hard because you got Step
it's hard.
Brothers, you got fucking
Comedy's probably one of the easier ones because
Hangover.
comedy is not as serious. Obviously, it's
All right.
fucking comedy.
Inception was good. Interstellar was good.
Yeah, Inception was.
Um,
fucking,
Interstellar was pretty good.
yeah.
No Country for Old Men.
I like Looper. You ever seen Looper?
That's the one where he time travels
Time
with
travel,
Bruce
his-
Willis
yes.
and
Yeah.
Robin.
That was a pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But I don't think it's anywhere near the level of like,
No, Pulp Fiction.
yeah.
Yeah.
Blow.
Because if I ask
You
you,
know how I saw Blow? My bad. Side note, because we talked about military, I was with my boy D.N. Watson. Shout out to Watson from Missouri.
shout out.
We get put on an assignment to go to elementary school and talk about, hey, the military, whatever the fuck. But we get there, we do our shit, and like 30 minutes later, the lady's like, if you want, you can go. Like, you're done for what we needed you for. And we're like, we're here till like 2. What do we do now? We go to the movies. Obviously, I'm not in tune with the movies at that time because of the military. And we're like, what should we watch? We're like, I don't know. What the fuck is this? Blow? Let's walk into this. We walk into this shit blind. No trailer, because at that time,
You didn't even know what the hell it was about.
I don't know. It starts, bro. I leave that theater like, oh my god, what the fuck? This was the most, like, one of the greatest movies I've ever seen. It's like a Scarface, Goodfellas. Like, this movie is fucking dope. And we just accidentally ran into this shit. And that was just all I wanted to say. Just shout out because it was just thinking
It's
about
crazy
movies
how shit
and
like that
military.
happens. Yeah, that makes it so much better sometimes.
Outstanding.
when you go in there without expectations,
Look,
that's some
Fight
shit's
Club,
awesome.
I saw it in the Navy.
That's a
I was
great
trying
movie.
to holler at a girl, so we went to the theater, and the beginning started. It looked weird, and I walked out. I didn't watch Fight Club the first time because I'm trying to fuck. I was trying to fuck. I was.
That doesn't count then.
I was in school in the military. I was in Texas and on base on the theater. And
So you wanted to get out of there to go.
It just wasn't catching me. It was. I walked in late.
Something else was catching
you. It was at the
you.
moment when he's looking at his apartment and is labeling all the prices. I'm like, this movie's weird. And it zoomed in.
It is weird.
So I walked out. But then when I watched it again, bro, I'm like, why did I walk out of this?
That's an awesome movie, dude.
This movie's outstanding, dog.
Did you get laid that night?
No. But I did I did fuck that one chick I wanted to later with her friend.
Yeah, you should have never walked out.
Never walked out. No, but like, so with movies, it's hard, man. That 20 years is different, man. It's hard. And then,
The point I'm trying to make is that like in the last 20 years, there hasn't been a lot of movies that if you've been alive 40 years more or less like us, that you would put them in your top 10.
You know what?
That's what I'm saying.
What happened though, just like music, like yes, the movies are not as good no more. But what did happen is a different style of movies came out. What happened? The comic world, Marvel, started a new. So the last 20 years, they've been handling shit,
right?
And they just opened a new world that.
Well,
for me,
effects,
was like I'm on board before it even started
I think
popping.
Technology caught up with comic books, man.
John Favreau, man, he laid the layout for all the movies.
Well, you remember? I mean, I don't know if you remember. When you're 30, yeah, you remember.
Yeah.
Like back in the late 70s, mid 70s, a lot of like Marvel movies came out, and they were fucking terrible, dude.
Yeah.
Because the special effects were terrible, but technology finally caught up with the imagination of the artists from the Marvel
and the main
universe,
thing
and that's what that's the blow
Marvel
up. Man.
Comics took a big step, and they were like, you know what, fuck all the companies, we're gonna start our own studio.
Exactly.
That's what changed it because they had more of their people insight on the characters, not Fox trying to make it appealing to what's popular in society at the time and make it mold to whatever is popular at the time. Right. Marvel took over and they're like, look, we're going to make it. Because what happened was, to my opinion, I think comic book movies got into that era of black leather and how realistic we can make these heroes. And then Marvel came in like, look, we could do fucking red
Talking
capes.
about X-Men?
X-Men, Batman Begins. They went into like Batman Begins, like let's show the real side of how he became a ninja. And it's like less fantasy and more realistic. Like this is possible.
Yeah, X-Men, the black suits were terrible.
And Marvel, what they did is like, hey, we can wear red capes and blue spandex and make that shit cool again, green skin and fucking, and they brought that comic shit back. Like, hey, fuck this whole realistic black leather. Let's like, who cares about that shit? And I think they changed the game up again, and it's gonna keep changing. And it's pretty dope, man. I would say that's why Hollywood didn't get that impact from me.
Well,
because
the Ghost not a big fan of the Marvel.
No, I'm not huge, but definitely the 2000s.
You know why? Because they didn't watch none of the fucking.
Nah, I've seen.
He's like 8 movies.
He's
behind.
a DC guy.
I'm a little bit behind. DC doesn't make good movies either.
He has a mean Green Lantern outfit that he wears.
But that's fucking top secret information. But the 2000s is definitely the comic book era of
but look,
movies.
What you just said with the movies, me, the way I am, like I like all of them. My friend's like, I hate you, dog, because you like everything. I'm like, because my friend went in to see Sonic. He's like, yeah, it was kind of like kid. I'm like, what the fuck did you expect? Like, I went in there expecting that. I enjoyed it.
Well, not to get off topic.
What were you expecting? The Godfather?
Right.
Yeah. It was Sonic.
Get off topic. What did you say? Not to get off topic.
Not to get off topic, but I wanted to ask you, if, God forbid, of course, if you would die tomorrow, what would you like everybody to remember you as? Like, what would the first thing that comes to mind thinking about Big G? What was?
Damn, you're getting deep.
But you know what's dope?
I don't want to get all mushy.
I love that question. But what's dope about that? 2 things. One, I've been working on that because everything I've left behind in music is my fucking legacy. So my words are there, and then
this is part of it right here too.
Exactly.
This is gonna be out in the cosmos.
I do think about that because what I do is it's engraved in like wavelengths in there. I have MP3s that express all the feelings. And believe it or not, even on top of that, since 2002, I've always wrote in my sidekick or in my notes. I have a note called "If Tomorrow Never Comes." It's kind of like a will. And sometimes I go back and it's there, and it's kind of like talking to everybody.
A memoir.
Yeah, like, hey, in case this happens, just know I wasn't sad. I'm not going through shit. Like, I was happy. I love what I do. You know what I'm saying? And I have that, and I upgrade it, and I update it every now and then.
That's cool.
But I've always had that. But on top of that, my music is that. Because I've never, at the time, if you ever hear old raps of mine, I was talking about selling and moving shit. I was. And then the other albums, you hear me talking about heartbreak and crying over it, I was. And when I'm drinking, partying, I was partying on the song. You hear it. So my music.
It all comes through.
I've never been. Some friends, like an artist, they kind of fabricate shit, and it's okay for that. It's like filmmaking, But I've had a kind of pride, and I don't like that. So if I'm not talking about it, it's not real. So if I say I'm pulling up, I got my gat, it's because I have one. When I don't, it's because they got one, and I don't, and I'm not going to mention it. You know, I'm not going to mention selling this if I'm not. I'm not pulling out a gun if I don't got one. And I've had a lot of pride with that, and that's why my music is that. I think my legacy, what we left behind, is what I've been saying. And I feel like I have like.
So it's already there.
Yeah, basically.
They don't need to look too far to find it.
And I don't have enemies, man. Like I try not to. Like even my exes, I'm friends with all my exes because once I have that final closure, like, hey, bro, like there was never an animal. I don't want when I meet anybody, I don't want to believe like fuck that dude. I want to be like, yo,
I never met too many people that didn't like you.
Because I don't want that. I take pride in make sure that shit's solidified. Even if I break a girl's heart,
quality, man.
Yeah, and I take pride in that shit.
I don't have the same quality.
Even one night stands.
I was gonna say, yeah, no.
I was telling this girl this shit, but I was like, even one night stands, I don't want to just beat and like fuck, and then next day you're like, oh my god, I'm the regret. I want to be more like, yo, last night some motherfucker rocked my world. I never seen him again. Holy shit. That's the remember instead of being like some fat motherfucker fuck me yesterday. Oh my god, I should have drank. Oh my god, girl, like that's it. So I take pride in that shit. Those little things I think help me, and my dad gave me that. I think like the more friends and network you have is your richest, man. And I'm rich as fuck if it's based on that, you know.
Yeah, that's worth a lot right there, man. I don't have any more questions, dude. You got any more questions for him? I think we grilled you enough, dude.
Awesome. I love this shit.
Thank you for coming, brother.
Hey, thank you, man. It's a blessing.
Check him out, GNP Arrow on IG. What else should I shout out, man? Where else?
Shit, GNP Arrow is what I do. My music, my vinyls, my decal. But check out Color Tracks Music. You know, at Color Tracks. Check out Experimento. Check out everybody on my team, man. Even Man of Action Figures. You know, we got
hell yeah,
we got the shit working, and we're coming soon, man.
Yes, and upcoming Florida Supercon, he'll be out there. You can go meet him, take some pictures, buy some of the stuff. Yeah, we will be out there. And yeah, man, if you like the video, subscribe, hit that bell for the notification button. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Peace.